Good evening, YouTubers. This is PJ Bridges 94, close to Kansas City, Missouri. Thought I'd take a moment and show you my garden. Before I do, I am by no means a gardener. I have had small gardens in the past with a varying degree of success. But this year I done a little different. I've tried to grow a garden back here before, nothing big, some tomatoes, peppers, something of that nature. But I found each year that I tried, it flooded out and I never did succeed. So this year I decided to try raised beds. So far, stuff is growing. Anyway, I'm going to show you around my garden. Over here I have my squash and zucchini. I saw a video, or maybe someone told me, I don't know, about training your squash to climb a trellis, and so I built this trellis to do that. I don't know anything about different varieties of squash and zucchini, but I do know that mine do not grow up a trellis. They do not have vines. It's more, I don't know, like a bush. Either way, next year they will not go on the trellis. Next year I will try cherry tomatoes on the trellis. Here I have cantaloupe. So far I have no melons, but I have lots of blooms and the plants look great. Oh, and on my squash, I harvested my first zucchini today, and I have a yellow squash here that's just about ready to harvest, so that's pretty exciting. I actually grew something, yay! Over here is a 4x12 raised bed, and I just used 2x10s, 12 feet long, and I put a little bit of everything in here. I have some eggplants here, and I have some broccoli, and I have some Brussels sprouts. See my little chocolate Chihuahua and my Australian Shepherd. They always keep me company out in the garden. I planted some carrots early on in the spring, and they did not grow. So I planted more carrots, and they didn't grow, so I gave up on them and planted some purple leaf lettuce, as you can see. And after the purple leaf lettuce came up, about 2 weeks later, I started having carrots pop up. They took about 6 and 8 weeks before they popped, sprouted, and started growing. I guess the weather wasn't warm enough for them, I'm not sure. But either way, I have carrots and some purple leaf lettuce there. And I wanted to try something new, so I also planted some Swiss chard. I have never raised Swiss chard before, and before this year, I'm fairly certain I've never eaten Swiss chard before. But I was told it was easy to grow, and so I gave it a try. It is easy to grow. It's growing very well. In fact, I need to come out here and harvest some of the larger leaves because they're crowding my eggplant. And then I planted some turnips. I do not like turnips, but I thought I would try turnip greens, and as it turns out, I love turnip greens. My rabbits love turnip greens, so next year I will plant a lot more turnips. I only have a few plants this year, and they've been great for substituting and throwing in salads. They've been good. Over here was supposed to be my herb garden, and again I just tried a little bit of this, tried a little bit of that. Some worked, some didn't. I planted some spinach in here. Wasn't sure how well that would do. The spinach is doing well. We love spinach and we eat a lot of spinach. So this fall, I'm going to have a spinach bed so that there's plenty of spinach. There's not enough spinach in this bed, but we use it, mix it in with the lettuce and the turnip greens, and we like it. I have some basil. I'm not sure what variety this is, and you may notice there's 5 basil plants. I planted it similar to the carrots. I planted it the first time, it didn't grow, so I planted some more. It didn't grow, so then I went to the store and bought a basil plant or 2, and now I have quite a bit of basil. I have some sage. That is store-bought. It just came in a little package. It was small and it grew. I have some stevia. I planted stevia multiple times. Couldn't get it to sprout. A couple of them, one or two did sprout. They just would not grow. So I broke down and bought some at the store, and it's growing beautifully. I planted some oregano, which is apparently a very slow growing plant. I had given up on it, and about 2 months after I planted it, it decided to grow. And the same story with my parsley. It must be a slow growing plant because it didn't grow for about 2 months after I planted it. But it's starting. We'll see if it lasts through the summer heat or not. I'll do some research and see what I can do differently. Over here, I have another 4-foot by 12-foot garden bed. I really don't do a whole lot with this one. These are John's tomatoes and his peppers, so this is kind of designated his little garden bed. I did, however, throw some lettuce in at the end of it. So just little green leaf lettuce. Nothing special, but it tastes good and grows quickly. His tomatoes are doing really well. They're huge. I do not remember tomato plants being so huge, but these are huge. And he started some of these in the house back in January. So these have been growing for a while. We have tons and tons of tomatoes. As you can see, they're all green. And he has several varieties. We got cherry tomatoes, yellow tomatoes, Arkansas Travelers, tried and true beefsteaks, maybe another variety or so. Then we have our peppers, or he has his peppers. He has a couple of varieties in there. They, to me, don't seem to be doing well. They are blooming though, so maybe they're doing better than I think. We had some pepper seeds to sprout. They sprouted a couple months ago and have not grown. They are still only a couple inches tall, so I don't know what's going on with those. Got some grass in there I need to weed. Here I have some cucumbers. They're a variety that said they were good for pickling, or you can grow them out and use them as table cucumbers. I'm not convinced on the table cucumbers, but they certainly make good pickled cucumbers. They're doing well, and I built a trellis for them, trying to grow them vertically. It seems to be going well so far. You can see it's climbing up the trellis. I've already harvested a couple cucumbers off of here. And there's a couple more that's pretty close to getting ready. And over here I have an onion bed. I started out with 100 sweet red onion sets, and I planted them in this 4x4 bed, thinking probably only 50% of them would grow, if that. 92 grew, so that was a pretty good success rate, I think. I did dig up one of the onions a couple days ago just to see how big the bulbs are getting, and there are no bulbs, which is fine. I'll continue letting them grow because I love the green. I come out here and cut them once or twice a week. cut them down to a couple of inches, and we love eating the green onion stems, so we eat them either way. I'm pleased with them. Here is our potatoes. We got a late start. We didn't plant those until May. It was kind of an afterthought, so this one is not in a bed. However, I am going to build a bed around it in the next week or two. And we threw in one little sweet potato plant. I'm the only one that likes sweet potatoes, so we put one in there for me. We'll see how it goes. Here was another afterthought. I was sitting here one day before work, saw a patch of sunny land, and dug it up and planted some corn. Over here, another thrown together, which desperately needs to be weeded, is some okra and some transplanted spinach. They're not growing as fast as I would have liked, and the spinach leaves are tough and curly. They're not like my other spinach. So I assume there's something in the soil that's different, because I had the other soil in the beds brought in. I used 3 truckloads of dirt to bring that dirt in. Here's my compost pile. I started it in February. It used to be huge. As you can see, it's not quite as big as it used to be, but it's still a good sized pile. Hopefully it'll be ready for this fall crop. Here is, well, it's just a dog kennel that's was left here from previous owners, and I just stuck it in the corner. I think I have a use for it. We'll talk about that another time, but I think I'm going to put that to use. After 3 years, I think I'm going to put it to use. Here was another afterthought. Dug up some grass and planted some corn seeds, and it's growing. Dogs are trampling it. I don't know if it's going to make it or not. But anyway, guys, that's my garden. It looks pretty good this year. Probably the best I've ever seen a garden grow at my hands. But I'm pleased with it, and I've been eating lots of salads from it. Anyway, that's my garden. You guys have a great day. Thanks for watching.